First, we have more troubling news from the Middle East tonight. A $30 million U.S. Reaper drone was shot out over the sky, over international airspace, by Iranian-backed, the Houthi rebels and terrorists in Yemen. Again, we must start out by asking your commander-in-chief, Joe Biden, Mr. President, what are you going to do about this? Meanwhile, we have U.S. soldiers suffering yet another 2 attacks at bases in the Middle East today by other Iranian proxies. And so far, there have been 42 attacks against our U.S. soldiers carried out by Iranian-linked terrorists in the past month alone. Now, Joe's response was to take out 2 small empty warehouses. And just hours ago, apparently another, quote, small retaliatory U.S. airstrike against whatever assets they hit in Syria. We'll find out sometime in the next day or two. That's it? Joe Biden he's not going to take any substantial action to prevent further attacks against American troops abroad? Is he going to just, keep on bombing empty warehouses? Because think about this. If China, they have all these hostile actions against American fighter jets in international airspace, no response. China takes hostile actions against our Navy in international waters. Well, Joe gives no response. China's spy balloon, what happened? It got to fly eight days over our country, over our military installations, no response. China's hostile actions over Taiwan and their airspace, no response. Russia shoots down our drones, no response. Is it because Joe wants more, financial business deals with China and Russia, that he won't take action against these hostile regimes? Or is he just a pathetically weak U.S. president? We'll let you answer. Now, meanwhile, back at home, anti-Semitism, it is exploding. I never thought I'd see this in our lifetime. Did anyone ever think this? Never thought I would see this in our lifetime, including in the halls of Congress. This as Jewish Americans are now still being held hostage by terrorists in a war zone. And by the way, Joe, why are you not demanding the release of all of these hostages, including Americans that are being held hostage? Where is your president tonight? I'm sure he's sleeping. I'm sure he doesn't know that today is Wednesday. And as anti-American sentiment is on the rise and the threat of terrorism is now spiking, is Joe Biden going to do anything to secure our southern border? Is he going to do anything at all? Because we now know the Department of Homeland Security, there's Alejandro Mayorkas testified today. He has no idea at all how many illegal immigrants are currently in our country, or where they're from, or why they're here. We know, thousands from countries like Iran, Syria, other places in the Middle East, Russia, China. Joe has let in almost 8 million illegal immigrants. It may be 10 million by the end of the year. This is insanity. And it's just another horrible, chaotic day under President Joe Biden. But according to last night's election results, Americans seem pretty unfazed, at least on the surface. We're going to break all of this down. Let's start in the Commonwealth of Virginia, where state Democrats were able to hold on to a slim majority in the Senate there and pick up a slim majority in the House of Delegates. Now, some are trying to blame Governor Glenn Youngkin and his expansive get-out-the-vote effort. Here's the reality. Virginia, whether you want to believe it or not, I had given up on Virginia years ago. It is a blue state. It's not even a purple state. The anomaly in Virginia happened 2 years ago when Glenn Youngkin won the governorship there, and he deserves a ton of credit for trying as hard as he did to flip both houses. And as the federal government, by the way, is expanding at a rapid pace, hordes of government workers, the vast majority, 90+%, Democrat, relocating just south of D.C. into Northern Virginia, where taxes are low, schools are better, and crime is relatively low. And unfortunately, the vast majority of government workers, they're Democrats, so are most of the employees at the NGOs, the law firms, and other groups associated with the government. So Virginia was close because of Youngkin's popularity. It's a blue state. In spite of what the media is telling, what a huge victory, this is bad for Glenn Youngkin. No, it's not. The fact that Glenn Youngkin won, frankly, is a miracle. The fact that he won by the large margin he did was another miracle. It just shows what the failure of Democrats can do. can awaken people, at least temporarily. Anyway, but once again, we do have to talk about the issue of abortion. It was a major issue yesterday. And I do believe deeply in the sanctity of life. I'm pro-life. I'm very open about it. But I also recognize a political truth and reality, and that is that the majority of the American people, as I have been saying for years, people said yesterday, Sean Hannity finally admitted, no, Sean Hannity's been saying it for years, that now the consensus in this country, a few years now I've been saying, Americans reject the most restrictive abortion laws. They just do. Now, okay, so people can disagree with me. But now they especially reject it if these restrictions target early pregnancies under 15 weeks. That's the political reality. I'm not giving you my personal view. I'm telling you where the consensus of the country is. Even in the state of Ohio, a very red state now, 57% of voters there approved a measure adding abortion rights to the state constitution. And Democrats now are using abortion as a political weapon. Not only do they accuse Republicans every 2 and 4 years of being racist, sexist, misogynist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, wanting dirty air, wanting dirty water, and wanting to kill grandma and grandpa. Now they're saying that Republicans will end all abortions, which is a lie. And the problem has been Republicans have not countered that false narrative and that lie. Now, by the way, this even played a pretty big role in deep red Kentucky, where a very popular Democratic governor who totally distanced himself from Joe Biden, painted his opponent, Daniel Cameron, as a heartless anti-woman zealot. Republicans need to spend dollar for dollar. Every lie the Democrats tell, you must fight back with ads telling people the truth. Over the past 2 election cycles, Republicans rarely responded to any of these attacks, especially on abortion. They need to start responding. But tonight, it is clear they must fight back. They need a coherent strategy to counter the abortion narrative or the abortion lie, or this issue will haunt them in 2024 and beyond. Republicans also need to buy into early voting and legal ballot harvesting. They can't show up on Election Day down by hundreds of thousands of votes and expect to win. In a perfect world, there would be just one Election Day. We'll make it a national holiday, paper ballots, voter ID, signature verification, chain of custody controls, updated voter rolls, partisan observers watching the vote and watching the vote counting. And if we had all of that, guess what? We would add integrity to our election system, and everybody can have confidence in the result of elections. That is not the world that we're living in. And by the way, Republicans that have been reluctant and resistant to voting early and by mail, they need to adapt, they need to organize, and they need to beat Democrats at their own game. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.